What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about duckweed, and we're also going to put a little bit of stock in this tank. Stay tuned. Alright guys, real quick before we get into the video, I saw something on my analytics the other day. Did you guys know that only 8% of you watching right now are subscribed to my channel? Alright guys, now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to go in here and talk to you guys about a couple of things. First, I'm gonna get some ram's horn snails out of these two tanks. These two tanks are in our son Luke's room, and they're really overrun with duckweed, i.e. the reason why I named the video what I named it. So I gotta kind of be careful because I really don't want any duckweed in my tanks. But if you look here at the back, got some of my black shrimp. There's one for sure in there. I think there's more, but check that little guy out. One of my black shrimp. There's another one over here, right over there. Until I opened this window right here, it was really hard to see in these tanks. So that's one thing I hate about it. If you're gonna have any plants in your tanks at all, it does cut the light of the tank down tremendously. It makes it really dark. You can't hardly see in there at all. Every time you go to do any kind of maintenance, if you look at these filters, these little sponge filters, in order to do maintenance on those, you got to get a great big wad of duckweed. Every time you put your net in there, every time you put your water hose in there, your python hose to fill it, to drain the tank, every single time you do anything that requires you to get down inside the aquarium, you get duckweed all over you. My job today is to get some pretty decent ram's horn snails out of here. You can see we've got tons of them in here. If I can get zoomed in on this little guy right here, got a really nice one up here on the glass. Got some others here on the bottom here. But get some ram's horn snails and as many of my black shrimp as possible. That's what we're gonna do. Gonna go get a net and get started. Alright guys, one thing I should also mention before we get into this is there are some good benefits to having duckweed. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'll try to get some B-roll, but if you guys can see the root structure underneath this duckweed, the older and older the duckweed gets, the better and better it soaks up nitrates, and all floating plants do that. So it's really a good idea if you're having some smaller tanks and you're having some filtration problems and nitrate issues. It's really a good idea to get you some kind of floating plant. Red root floaters are my favorite, and I like those, and they're not as intrusive and crazy as duckweed, but it's not all bad. But we're getting ready to have a little mess here. I went ahead and got 2 brand new nets, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some snails rounded up and some shrimp rounded up, and Phoebe had a really good idea. Maybe I can drop some food in there, because these tanks we only feed every 3 or 4 days, 2, 3, 4 days, somewhere around in there. We don't feed it every day, so everything in the tank's going to be hungry, and probably just time-lapse through all of this. But yeah, I'm going to get some water in this bucket, use one net to capture and then the other net to release in the tank upstairs. So that's what I'm doing. Yay, wish me luck, all this stinking duckweed. Alright guys, if you don't believe me that duckweed sucks, look at my forearm here, and then I want you to look at what can be produced in just a little 5-gallon aquarium here. And it is going to be nearly impossible for me to get this all off of the snails and the shrimp, but I'm going to try, and that's the only thing you can do. I'm going to try to use a new net. But on the bright side, I did get a male and a female black shrimp, so I should be able to get some new babies and get them going. Yay! let's go ahead and go put those bad boys in the tank.
You're not afraid of negativity. In fact, I resent anything that robs you of the unpredictability of tomorrow. Money has a tendency to do that. Security does. Now I live life as it comes.
Alright guys, they have been floating on top of the tank for about 45 minutes or so, somewhere around in there. And I do have some duckweed in the bottom of this thing, but what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to use this new net. And the reason why I kept on talking about a new net is this net does not have any duckweed in it. Duckweed can transfer with just a little bitty piece of it. And yeah, so that's what I'm trying to stay away from. So here goes nothing. Pour them into the net. Probably have to pick some of the snails out, which I will. But I've got the shrimp and some of these snails right there. Didn't drop any duckweed. Got all the duckweed still on the net here. So I just kind of used my finger to kind of kick them off the net. Now I'm just going to grab the rest of these snails that are in here and put them in by hand. The shrimp is going all over. One reason why I wanted to go ahead and get some livestock in here is because I noticed the other day that I've got some shrimp left over, and then also I noticed that I've got some ram's horn snails left over. And I love my ram's horn snails, and they'll help clean this algae off the front of the glass too. The shrimp should do pretty good. I don't have any leaves or any wood in here, but I've got some stuff downstairs that I can put in there. I've got some tannin rich stuff that I can put in there and give them something to nibble on. But I am going to go ahead and stop the video there. Stay tuned to the end and I'll try to get some B-roll. Try to feed them here in a little bit. Try to get some B-roll of them. So what do you guys think? Today's video, I needed to move these snails and these black Neocaridina shrimp over to this tank, and I knew that I was going to have a big problem whenever it came to that duckweed. I don't mind saying it, I absolutely hate duckweed, and I'm trying my best not to get it in my tanks on my new fish room, and that's all there is to it. There are some good attributes whenever you're dealing with floating plants. They really do soak up the nitrates, but they just make the tank dark. They make a big mess, and they're a constant cleanup. You can clean them one day and a couple of days later your tank is full again, and I just hate that, especially when you're dealing with a big fish room. And I usually have a lot of tanks, and my last fish room I had over 40 systems going, and every single one of them had duckweed, and I absolutely hated it. So enough about that. If you guys don't know, I am live streaming once a week, every Saturday night at 7 p.m. So make sure and subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any live stream. I'm also uploading every Thursday at 7 a.m. an edited video. I also have a new Facebook, so you can follow me on Facebook, and I do have a Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, and as well as always the Instagram, and I do have a new TikTok. So make sure and follow me on all my social medias. Check them in the description box below. Other than that, thanks for coming along on today's video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, y'all.